I'm Brian Milton from Team Flex. Today, we're going to be looking at pro card winners from NPC Junior Nationals. Competition just occurred this past weekend, and we have some pro card winners. We're going to look at the overall winner, look at those athletes that did, in fact, win their pro card here, and ultimately go over the criteria, what this means for you if you want to be a wellness competitor. Also, if you're trying to get a pro card and know where this criteria is heading in 2025. And this is what I do on this channel 24/7. So if you're new here, hang out, subscribe. We got a lot of great stuff coming up for you here. All right, let's get down to it. So if you're looking at my screen here, we have a few athletes on this screen. We have Sabrina here. She's our pro card winner and also overall winner. So she won against all the other class or pro card winners in this lineup, and she took the whole thing home, the overall. So basically the most accurate readout of criteria we have on this video today. And then we have over here, Brianna. She's our class B winner. She also won her pro card. And then Jamila over here, she won her pro card in class D. So a couple we're going to look at here on this group and go over this and really highlight what we're looking at. Okay, so Sabrina, first thing we'll notice with her, very wellness physique. You go right to the lower body, right? All the time, I tell you when you're watching this channel, and I'm telling you, judges do the same thing. If the first thing they don't see is that lower body, you miss the mark as a wellness competitor, because it's all about this lower body dominance, having the most dominant lower body look that you can. So she definitely has that quad dominance here. Very, very solid. Good sweep, good development. You can see glutes from the front. I always say you should see that in this division, and we tend to pretty much on all the competitors that do win, especially at this national pro qualifying level. So very good quad density. You'll notice right away, though, I want to highlight this, not super shredded in the quads, right? Not overly done lean to the point where we're seeing splits and striations and deep cuts. And, this is something a lot of wellness competitors for a while were getting way out of hand with. And I've really just noticed across the board this season that judges have been bringing it back to the roots. This is a softer level of condition, right? She's clearly got a lot of muscle, a lot of shape, not overdoing the condition in the lower body. It's perfect for wellness division. So not only does she have a really solid base there, she's also locked it down, conditioning wise, not brought it too hard, not brought it too soft, right where it should be in this division. Okay. And as we know, wellness being the only asymmetrical women's division, the only division where it's lower body dominant, that does not mean though that the torso don't matter, and it does. And we're going to kind of do a little reverse order today. Next thing you'll notice is midsection, right? So she's definitely got a very tight midsection. I say this for all the women's divisions. I'm going to say it again in this video today. If you want to, excel in wellness, get your waist tight as you can, meaning narrow, get it as small as possible. There is no female division, and honestly, even in the men's, where having a very tight waist taper is not going to be an advantage. It really is to pretty much everybody. So definitely she's got that. She locks that down. Good body fat percentage here. You don't really see six-pack abs or anything like that. You also don't see any extra low body fat in the midsection there at all. You see some good lines here in the obliques, maybe a little bit into the rectus abdominis. Nothing too crazy, though. This is an indicator of a flat stomach, which is what the criteria says it wants. It does not want six-pack abs, does not want you, obviously, to have extra body fat either. That would be a problem. Now, looking up top, right, we know wellness competitors need to have this V-tapered look, and that comes from the shoulders when you get up here. So definitely really good delts here. She's got very full deltoids. It's one of those physiques, again, where you start to look at that in wellness and you say, whoa, that could be too much up top. But every time, if the lower body is overdoing it compared to what's going on up there, you will win in wellness. And you do still need to have fullness in the shoulders, right? Judges have been really hammering that. Some wellness competitors were coming with the mass monster look where they had really big delts, really big lats, really big, we talk about them on this channel sometimes when they appear, and it makes it look very symmetrical to the lower body. This is not the case here for Sabrina. This is not what we're seeing. She's got, a very good overall aesthetic here. That she does have fullness in the shoulders, yes, but it's not overdone. It's a roundness and a fullness and a shape that accentuates down into the waist. That's really what you want to see. And also another big bonus for her is that her arms do not overpower. Bicep and tricep there, you can see some development, not overdoing it, right? Not taking the cake away from the deltoids, so to speak, which is, again, something judges really don't want to see. They don't want to see your shoulders getting so big that, your bicep and tricep getting so big, it pulls away from the shoulders. We want to see those shoulders be able to really hold their own, create that width, taper in, and lower body should be the main focus, even in this front pose. So she really nails that. Again, let's touch on the condition. Nothing too crazy. We're not seeing deep cuts and front delts and lateral. We're not seeing all that. She nailed the condition. This is where it should be a softer level of conditioning just for wellness division. So no doubt wins that pro card. Very defined stamp on that win. And then goes on to win that overall over everybody else that turned pro at this event. So that's a big, big win for her. Looking over here at Brianna now, keep in mind, every single athlete we look at today is a pro. Now, this is pretty exciting stuff if you're trying to get a pro card, okay? So congratulations again to all these ladies. Awesome job. All right, Brianna here, okay? So Brianna, let's take a look at her physique. So she also wins the pro card here. She doesn't get the overall. What you can see as the big differences, right, is, the lower body really is all it is. She's still got a great lower body shape. She's still got good quad sweeps, good glute development, glutes from the front here. Everything's there. Her lower body is not over conditioned. We're not seeing those deep cuts or anything else. Just like Sabrina, she's got good fullness in those deltoids. Bicep and tricep are not overpowering. Really good waist taper here. I like this pose a lot. And it accentuates what we will see that is different, right? Is literally just a little bit less lower body mass. So a little bit less lower body muscle compared to the overall here, Sabrina, and that's it. That's all it really is. She's got a very complete look, really locks it down from that front. This is, again, really on par conditioning, oblique line, nothing else, nothing crazy. And, her upper body fullness is right where it should be. So, again, that fullness, that roundness, those delts, not overdoing it, though. She kills that look. That's a great look. And, Class B win, pro card win for her. Awesome. Just maybe needs a little bit more size in the quads from this shot. We'll see when we get to the back, though. Keep in mind, I always say, this is just the beginning. All right. Over here, Class D, Jamila, what we can see for her. And we'll go ahead and put Sabrina right here next to her like that. What we can see overall, good shape, to the deltoids here. Her bicep and tricep instantly, I can tell, a little bit on the bigger size, a little bit more development. Keep in mind, she wins a pro card, so still totally crushes that Class D there and does great. But I'm just trying to give you insight now into what's winning the overall versus not. So maybe she's got a little bit more in that bicep and tricep, at least in this pose, and, it tapers in well, very good waist. Midsection is right where it should be conditioning-wise, right? We can see actually a little bit of abs for her. Nothing too crazy. That's not, her training six-pack. That's because she's lean. She's at condition. This is all good here where it should be. Lower body-wise, again, we see glutes from the front. We see some good quad shape. It is, again, though, needs a little bit more mass look right here. And that's pretty much the difference between Sabrina and her again. So actually, both of these other pro card winners at this event, Class B and Class D, really the biggest differential is the lower body mass for Sabrina. That's where she's really pulling this through. She's got a very developed and full lower body. And it's interesting because in wellness, and I know this from coaching wellness competitors, sometimes when you got athletes that are like in this zone right here, all that needs to be different is how you peak in, how you bring in your food. I don't know in this case, obviously, but this is one of those things where, a little bit more fullness clearly is the key. Now let's go to the back because that's where, the full story is always told, and I highly doubt it won't be told here today. So let's go, Sabrina. So Sabrina, our overall winner, pro card winner here. Very, very complete wellness look from the back. I mean, instantly, remember what I said, first thing you should see, lower body. That is what we see. That's where your eyes are drawn. And sometimes competitors, when you see that in wellness and they're too much in the upper body, your eyes will be instantly drawn to delts. It's not the case here, okay? What we see is clearly lower body dominance, some very developed, very big, very full quad sweeps, hamstring development that matches that very well. This tie-in look that comes through here, this glute hamstring tie-in, this is coming in through development of the glutes. So she's got very full glutes, very good upper glute density, overall glute density. It ties in very well. And her conditioning is right there, freaking perfect. So not too deep. I mean, we do see a little bit of muscle here. What we should see, we see that tie-in separation, but it's not overdone. This is textbook wellness look right here for her. And again, slam dunk on this competition, wins her pro card, wins that overall. Upper body-wise, what you want to see, just a little bit of that shoulder shape. Nothing too crazy. I'm not distracted by the triceps at all. Can still see a good tapered look. And mainly, again, wellness we're letting the lower body take the show. So that is a very, very complete competitive look for her. Now going in the pro leagues, right? Because I always like to give, better insight to everybody watching. For her, probably adding just a little bit more mass, continuing to balance out the glute look a little bit. The glutes could look just maybe a tad uneven. Sometimes that's just posing, but again, just fine tuning that, bringing that out. This quad sweep maybe needs a little bit more balance to this one, so on and so forth. But really, when you have such a good frame like this going in the pro league, your next mission really is to add more size and fullness. Because again, keep in mind, this is bodybuilding. That's what we're doing. We're bodybuilders in all of these divisions, no matter what you are. By the way, if you're enjoying the video here and you're hanging out with me and you want to get further insight into your own physique, what you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to do, go to this link right here, grab your phone, teamfflex.com/7-day trial, and train with me free for 7 days, okay? It's a great opportunity. I get a lot of feedback. I've been getting a lot of messages recently because I've been trying to get more people to do this because I'm trying to help you. And I've been hearing people, oh, I compete. I heard, what you said. We did the trial. You told me this, and I won my show. And that was definitely a critical, pivotal. I hear this like every day. So definitely check it out. It's free. You don't pay for it. You don't got to put credit card info in. I don't care about that. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to help you. Just like I'm sitting here making this video for really no good reason aside to help you all. This is exactly what the trial's for as well, to kind of give you a better insight into exactly your own journey, not just what's going on the channel here. So check that out. Highly encourage it. Strongly suggest it. Okay. Now let's go over here. Class B Brianna winner, pro card winner. So let's take a look here. What's the difference, right? Well, she does appear a little bit more shoulder dominant from the back here, actually. So that's interesting, right? That's one of those things that you notice. Lower body wise, it's all still here. We still got good quad sweeps. We still got good hamstring development. We're not getting as much 3D from the glutes, right? So a little bit more of that upper glute needs to be filled out. We need to pull through a little bit more of that tie-in here. But overall, again, pro card winner, very competitive physique, very good representation of criteria for you. But she may need just, again, a little bit more of that lower body size to catch this in this group. Also, her condition does appear just on a tad bit, just a slight bit tighter. And again, that may or may not even be a factor, but you do see some more threading in her delts. You do see a little bit more of that hamstring coming through here. Not a big deal, but sometimes it is a differential if judges really want a softer condition on stage, like Sabrina here. Sabrina's definitely got a little bit of a softer condition compared to that. So again, these are the areas that I think, but, overall, maybe tad more quad sweeps, more development overall, kind of soften the look, bring in through more upper glute, and honestly, probably dial down the upper body just a bit too in this group. But, honestly, if she brings up the lower body, might not have to do it. The feedback of how things go on show days often, not how they're going to go forever. So it's a very relevant feedback for one event, in other words, okay? All right, Jamila here. What we're looking at, we can see, pretty much instantly, I think most people watching probably see, overall that look is great. She's got a very good shape. She's got everything there. Doesn't have as much size, just needs more size in the quads, more in the hamstring, more in that glute, upper glute. Pull through that tie-in a bit. She's still got really good tie-ins going here, but just more size. Shoulders, honestly, I think are pretty on par. Maybe just a slight bit more development there. No distraction from bicep, triceps. She's doing great. Very good physique and wins that pro card. So awesome job. It's just more size probably in the lower body to continue on into the future here of what she's trying to do next. So that's often what you'll find, by the way, with the pros that are just turning pro. They usually have to go build more muscle. That's usually what's next. Okay. Now, one more to bring into the group here. Class A, she's Stephanie. She did win her pro card as well. So another great one to look at. Class A now, we usually see on Class A competitors a lot of shape compacted onto that frame. It's a shorter group of women. So basically with that, you get a lot more shape. And instantly we get a lot out of this physique here. Very good quad sweeps, very good development here from the quads, the glutes. This shape is very dramatic. It's clearly a wellness look. Super narrow waist taper here. Shoulders exactly where they should be in a very, very, very complete look for her, right? So overall, totally kills that look. Very, very wellness. Maybe a tad on the leaner side in the midsection. I don't think it is too much of a concern, but it is a factor. And overall, again, the thing that continues to be echoed today with all these pros, the difference between the overall and, the ones that won the pro card but didn't win the overalls continues to be that lower body density. So Sabrina just really has that. I think that's what we're seeing across the board. Let's go to the back, though. Check out Stephanie here, see where she's at. So, yep, that's pretty much again, right where we're at. So very comparable shoulders. Let's put them side by side here. Very comparable in the shoulder department. Tapers in well. Everything's there. Lower body wise, the biggest difference again is going to be just the size and development. So she's still got great shape to the quads and the hamstrings and the glutes, but it's not to the same development we're seeing over here. Not as much of that heavy quad look, not as much of the upper glute, the tie-in, that 3D effect, the hamstring development here. So again, basically all the judges went for here when it came down to the pros contesting for that overall, they definitely went with more muscle and wellness. So what does that tell all you out there that are trying to compete this season? Wellness division, you need more muscle. You need more muscle in the lower body. I know wellness competitors always chasing shreds, always worried about the prep. Most of you don't have enough muscle, okay? And if you want to learn how to get that muscle, do my free trial, and I will show you exactly how to train to get that muscle and wellness. But overall, great example here from all these ladies here. Great job to all of them. I'm just highlighting my points to give you further insight into how you can cater your own prep, figure out where you want to go, what you're trying to do. But yeah, this is a lockdown look for all of them here on board. And, congratulations into the pro leagues. More videos coming, everybody. Subscribe, hang out. We got a lot more. Thanks for watching. Coach Ryan is out.